Hoka hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream of August the 12th, 2022. Could Alita and Screwhead be allies in the sequel, where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gundam, and the greatly desired sequels. I am your host, and doing it single today, the Muskogee Creek from Denver, Colorado. So anyway, I see a bunch of you out there in the chat. You saw that I actually put the link if you want to come on and talk about Alita, then, about Alita, Screwhead, and other characters too, by the way, not just Alita and Screwhead. There will be other characters for sure. And Jealous is supposed to be on, but I think it's an hour earlier, so he may be struggling to get on right now because that's pretty early for those Aussies. And certainly I invited Maxie and Mike Reyes and a couple others. But if you want to come on and talk about Alita, by all means, click on that link and jump on the stream here with us, and we will talk about Alita. Before we do talk about Alita, you guys all know that I've been kind of pitching this, both of these series. Undone season 2, I watched all that. It is really excellent. So I think it's well worth the watch. I highly recommend it. It's shot in rotoscope. It's just really superb in terms of the effects and that sort of thing. And of course, our girl, our queen Rosa, was excellent in that thing, as were the other actors. Just really well done series, I think. So by all means, just jump on there and on your TV, and then get on Prime Video if you have it, and watch Undone. Also, our other girl, Elle Lamont, that's who played Screwhead, as you guys all know. She was in a series called Salvage Marines. She plays a squad boss, which is kind of like a corporal, if you want to think of it, or maybe a sergeant in the Salvage Marines. She plays Maggie Taggart, and that is also that's really a good series. It's got a great story behind it. It's about what happens when corporations get control of the government and the military and stuff like that. And it's set in the future, so space travel's involved and stuff like that. So. And it's got Casper Von Dien and Amanda Sante and several others. So really great series. I think you should watch it and, support our other girl, Elle Lamont. Okay, howdy, Lee Lemon. I see you're out there. Okay, this is who we're going to be talking about today, about possible allies. Now, I'm not going to talk about everyone who could be on that list up there today. For instance, one notable omission up there is Nova. I don't think it's going to be possible for him to be an ally for Alita in the sequel, in the next movie. Now, it could be in the next movie after that. Who knows? Because we know in the manga, sometimes Nova is allies with Alita and helps her at times. But I don't think that's going to be part of that in the movie itself. So we've left Nova off because we figure he's going to be the antagonist, whereas Alita certainly will be the protagonist. But who we're going to really talk about certainly is Screwhead. Now, Screwhead, she was one of the antagonists for Alita, but not so much as being a villain as it were, but as a bounty hunter who saw that there was a bounty on Alita's head, and it was quite a big bounty. If you remember from the movie, it was 500,000 credits. And of course, Screwhead saw that there's the bounty and I've got to get the bounty. So that was her thing. Shirin certainly was, she was an antagonist of Alita for a while. And then of course, Alita turned her and, she became almost like Alita's mother, if you want to think of it as that, but certainly is not. But, she could definitely be an ally. For instance, she's not dead, and actually, I don't think Screwhead's dead either. Either one of them are not dead, particularly Shirin, because Shirin, we saw that she was in that box that Vector had her put in prior to going up to Zalem, and we just had Lee Lemon join us. How's it going, Lee?
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Real good. How's it going down there in Fountain?
Oh, not too bad. Going pretty good right now.
Yeah, cool. I guess you guys are getting some heat down there, just like we're getting up here.
A little bit. It's actually a little bit cooler than it had been. It'd been in the mid 90s for a while there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was in the low 90s here. So anyway, are you guys higher up in elevation than we are here at Denver? I'm at 5,400 feet, so I don't know.
I think we're at least a few hundred feet lower than you, maybe even 1,000.
Okay,
at least I think. I can't really recall exactly.
Yeah, because I know Colorado Springs is higher than Denver, but that's another story. So anyway, good to have you on board there, Lee.
Well, I noticed you're here all alone, so I figured I'd hop on.
Yeah, and help out, huh? Yeah, I appreciate that. Angelus is supposed to be on, but I bet it's too early for him. He said he was going to be on, but that's pretty early for those Aussies. So he might be on a little bit later. Oh, by the way, I also want to mention too that we're going to try to keep this stream a little short because as you guys probably all know, if you're on Twitter, that my dog has cancer, and right now he's in the hospital having some tests run on him in the animal hospital, and I'm going to have to go pick him up. So I'm expecting them to call me at any minute. So and I'm going to have to go pick him up. But they've agreed to hold him until about like 5:30 or between 5:30 and 6. So I think we're good to go there.
Okay. I hope he's doing okay.
Oh yeah, he is. Right now he's doing fine. He's you can't tell. Now he's been suffering from the heat. He had a tough day yesterday because Newfoundlands, they got their. I had him shaved, but he's pretty tough on a big dog. Heat is, And he was acting a little squirrely yesterday, but he got through it. So
okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, go ahead. I'm sorry, Lee.
I was just going to say, my girlfriend lost her dog to cancer about a year ago or so.
Oh, I hate to hear that.
Yeah. So glad to hear yours is doing pretty good, at least for now.
He's hanging in there for now, and I think the oncologist told me that that his cancer is operable. So we'll see how that goes. They got to run tests to be sure, because we don't know. That's just was her estimate at that point, so.
Okay.
Yeah. But, it's not doom and gloom yet anyway. So.
Okay.
Okay. Well, anyway, getting back to the primary topic here, I guess. And then of course, Clive Lee is another one, in the anime, Clive Lee is definitely a villain.
Wasn't he the one in the anime that had the broad-brimmed hat that he wore that was kind of like a conical style?
Yeah, that's right. He was also standing above and behind Shirin when when Gally was fighting Rusica,
Okay.
And of course Ito was on the other side, But yeah,
was he also in the manga? Or was he just in the anime? I can't remember.
I don't recall him being in the manga. He could have been. I don't recall. If he was in the manga, he was just a secondary character.
Okay.
Where he was maybe in the Kansas bar when Alita showed up. Now in the manga, she has her berserker body when she goes to Kansas bar, and so she just kind of wreaks havoc with all those hunter warriors, because her body is much more powerful than anything they have, So,
yep.
So anyway, it was kind of a no contest from the beginning, and it looked like she enjoyed doing that. So
yeah,
she did. But anyway, Clive Lee of the White Hot Palm, and it's possible that he could be one of Alita's allies. Certainly Crimson Wind, could definitely be one of Alita's allies.
I think she ends up joining her team.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about the movie, but in the manga, at least she ends up, I think, joining her team.
Yeah, her and Adjicutty and a couple others, I guess.
Okay.
Anyway,
so if they follow the Motorball arc, then it seems like more than likely she's going to end up on Alita's side.
Yeah,
at least for a little bit.
Yeah, I think so, And what would be cool for me is to see maybe Crimson Wind and Screwhead and Adjicutty and maybe come up with one or two other motorballers, to get on Alita's team when they go up against Joshigan's team. That'd be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think actually Max Tech has gone that route in his sequel fanfic.
Yes, he has. Absolutely, he has. Also, Zapan. Now, I'm putting him up there tongue in cheek, because Zapan's got, if you look at it from his perspective, he's got a major axe to grind with Alita. She not only made him look like a fool in the Kansas bar, but she sliced his face off in front of the church. So, I think it'd be a very long shot indeed for him to be one of Alita's allies, but I got him up there just in case. If they follow the manga, he's not going to be one of their allies. He's going to be that Zerker Pan, that she has to fight.
Yeah.
Now, there's one other character that we can also bring up that I neglected to put up here, and that would be McTeague, because he definitely was one of her allies. He was a hunter warrior, so he was in the same class as Zapan and say Screwhead and Clive Lee, but I think he was more on her side in the actual movie. See, Clive Lee was kind of neutral, and Zapan certainly was certainly very negative toward Alita. Some of the other characters that we're not going to talk about, of course, is Ito. We know Ito is going to be her ally. Koyomi will be her ally. We're not, for sure, if they're back in, when the sequel occurs and if they're back in it, I can't see a sequel without Ito in it. And probably even not without Koyomi either, because Koyomi plays a significant part in the manga, particularly when they get in the Badlands,
Yep.
So, those two, but those two are going to be allies. Now, Koyomi is kind of a quasi-ally because, she was actually Barjack's sympathizer, wasn't she? She, convinced Alita not to shoot.
In the manga, she was, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So,
not really sure how they're going to portray her in the movie.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, that's the group. We'll even throw McTeague in there because I think when they do have a sequel, I think McTeague has got to be he's got to be in there for sure. And I appreciate that, Mikey. Sure do. And X-Man, he says he's a cat lover, so that's okay. I used to own a cat years ago. That they're good animals, nothing wrong with them. I'm more of a dog person, but I guess cats are all right though in my book. I know my stepdaughter has like 3 of them, I think. So, and they're pretty cool. So, anyway, Lee, anything else that you can see up there that we maybe another character we should add or something like that?
I would like to think Gerhad in some fashion, but they didn't really give her a very big part in the movie. So I don't know if the sequel would expand on that at all, or if she'd play any role.
Yeah, I think she would be in there. I left her off here because these are people that are more or less neutral or antagonist in the movie. Gerhad was really on her side. She's like Ito.
Yeah, like Ito. Yeah.
Yeah, like Ito. So that's why I don't have him in here, So, and I guess McTeague is like that too, because he was definitely one of her allies because he bringing his dogs down into the underworld.
Well, I might argue myself that he wasn't necessarily on her side so much as he became Gruishka's enemy simply because of what Gruishka did.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, when Alita fought Zapan, Murdoch is who it was in the manga. Zapan that killed his daughter. So. He's any, it's like that, that saying, I guess it's an Arabic saying, isn't it? The friend of my friend is, the friend of my, wait a minute, I'm going to get this wrong. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
So, something like that, so, and I see Alejandro is out there. How's it going, Alejandro? Let me put the link back into the chat if anybody wants to come on. It takes a while. God, I don't know what it is with the internet around here today. There it is. Okay, those are the characters we're going to kind of concentrate on right there. And I guess we'll start out with Screwhead. And the reason why we're starting out with Screwhead is because the Creek really likes her a lot. So, she's pretty cool in my book, and of course, I think Elle Lamont was really gracious and a lot of fun on the Radio Chaos stream here a few weeks ago. She was really cool. I really enjoyed her being on the stream, and occasionally, she'll send me a direct message in Instagram and I'll send her one, but nothing major. I wouldn't call her a friend or anything like that, but certainly we've, she'll put like a little heart if I say something on it or something like that. So, that social media stuff, So, yeah. So, but anyway, Screwhead, I guess if you remember what Elle said in that interview is that, that Screwhead never really had a problem with Alita to begin with. Because, she was just a bounty hunter, and of course the bounty gets put on Alita's head and Screwhead's a bounty hunter. Yeah. And it's a job. I want that money, and I think as she most comically said in that, hey, I need new wheels. That was pretty funny, but, I think Screwhead could most definitely come back as an ally. And as I think, as Elle said in that, she comes back, she gets repaired, and comes back for the sequel, and then kind of realizes that this was all bull crap, that Vector was conning them. And, she just doesn't like the whole situation, the way it turned out. And she says, well, what the hell with it? I'll be Alita's ally on this. And I think the term she said is, okay, girl, I'm good with you, girl. Let's burn it down. Let's burn it all down. So was what she said.
If nothing else, maybe there becomes some sort of specific antagonist that she identifies and decides to help Alita try and take that antagonist down.
Yeah, maybe because that antagonist was one of Screwhead's enemies or something like that. That would be another possibility. There's a million ways you could go with this thing, in terms of any of these characters becoming an ally, So, but yes, I think Elle also said she thought it would be pretty cool, and she wants to do it. She wants to be in the sequel, and she did a good job in Salvage Marines too. She sold you that she's a squad leader, which is, I guess, would be like a corporal in the military, I guess. But she sold you on that. She's tough, but she said it'd be kind of cool if Alita had a badass buddy to watch her back, I think is the way she put it, So that would be pretty cool, I think. So now, one thing about Screwhead is that she's not a character that's in the manga or in the anime. That was just one they came up with. So, Elle, and I can't remember who she said designed the character. I forget now who it was, but they have a lot of freedom with her, more so than they would another character that they've taken out of the manga. Now certainly they can adjust any character they put in the movie for sure. But, with Screwhead, it's kind of like she's a open book, they can pretty much do anything they want with her because she doesn't have much of a backstory. And it would be kind of cool to see a little bit of a backstory on Screwhead too, I think, is why she is where she is now, and that she's now a cyborg, and, what was that process for her going through it? I mean, we're kind of aware of that for Alita, but we don't know what that is with Screwhead or any of these other characters for that matter.
I kind of imagine that her becoming a cyborg was just like anybody else. Maybe she was looking for augmentations to be able to better pursue a more higher standard of living, which is what I think a lot of the people become bounty hunters for, is to get the money to be able to live a better life than everybody else who's stuck in poverty.
Yeah. And also, it's like, well, Gerhard's another example, where she lost her arm in the novelization. She loses her arm in an accident, where
a cargo lorry, I think they said. It went out of control, swiped the front of the hospital she was coming out of, took out the front facade, and took her arm off.
Yeah, that's right. So, and then next thing she knew, Ito was working on her arm, when she woke up, I guess. So, so yeah, you're right. It's one or the other. Either somebody, it's by necessity they become a cyborg, or it's like probably in Screwhead's case. Now, once again, we don't have any backstory on Screwhead, but if it's like you say, Lee, then she's just trying to get ahead, for
it could
a better
also
life.
have started out more slowly. One of the things that they mention, or Gerhard's character mentions in the novelization, is most people start out just getting a few upgrades, but then as things progress, in order to start to not just get ahead, but to stay ahead, they have to get a little bit more and then a little bit more over time to keep the edge.
Yeah. And I assume too, some of them would be for vanity,
Yeah. For Zapan, it certainly was. He liked the power that being a cyborg gave him.
Yeah, that's right. And like for instance, if you had one cyborg arm that had superhuman strength, you might be tempted to get another one, so you'd have both arms have superhuman strength, So anyway, let me welcome Alejandro from Colombia. How's it going, Alejandro? Yeah, I think you might be muted there, Alejandro. Oh, I guess you're having audio problems too, because you crackled out that on that one. Yeah, you're having some audio problems there, Alejandro. Anyway, we're glad you joined us, and we also have Safani Sung join us. How's it going, Safani?
That's all right, Craig.
All right. Good to have you on board.
So I was late in bed. I was do something.
Okay, cool.
I was do something my mom's birthday tomorrow. I don't be there this week tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So anyway, you were going to say something, Lee, and I think I interrupted you.
I am blanking on what I was going to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah. So anyway, Screwhead, is, it would be kind of cool for Lee to have a badass buddy like Screwhead, I think, you could see him on a girls' night out or something, tearing down the other guy's cyborgs, So that would.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going, Alejandro?
Oh, hi, Craig. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm very sorry for your dog. I heard that you have sent him to the hospital and have a problem.
Yeah, he's in there now having tests. He's not in the hospitals per se. Now he was in the hospital last weekend, when I had to postpone the stream for one night. And I thought he was going to be in there over the weekend, but he got a lot better, overnight. So they let me take him home, So, but he's got cancer, but the oncologist thinks it's operable. So we'll see how that goes. After his tests today, I'll have a better picture of what's going on, I think.
Oh, terrible. Well, I wish the best for you and your dog.
Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah. So how are things down there in Colombia?
Well, thank you. Very well. Very well. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Any thoughts about Screwhead coming back as an ally of Alita?
I think she could be a very good ally with Alita because, in fact, she's a very hard woman and she's also a cyborg girl, and she is very respectful in the society of Iron City because he have killed a lot of persons. This is a way that the persons value a hunting warrior there for so many persons that he have killed, and there are so many. She has so many skills, with their chain. It's a very very badass girl that goes for the mark and get the money for that, and I think it's the only way that a woman like a hunter warrior can be respected in that society.
Yeah, well, it's like Lee and I were talking a while ago. Is people getting these upgrades like that to get a better life and to stay ahead, they have to keep getting upgrades. So and I guess in the case of Hunter Warriors, they got to get the upgrades to get the edge on the other Hunter Warriors. So, they kind of have, it's out of necessity at that point for them,
Sure.
Any other thoughts about her being an ally of Alita's? Okay, Safani Sung, you got any thoughts about that?
No, I don't know why it's a Screwhead in this thing. Can't think about it. Can't think about it, okay.
Okay. So anyway, one thing they also have in common is they're both Hunter Warriors. And really, now they didn't say this in the movie, but I got this suspicion that maybe Screwhead was also a motorball player, or maybe
she did have a motorball body.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, but you don't know if, and she looked like she knew how to play the game. She was definitely familiar with going around the track. So I suspect she was probably, like a practice team player or something like that, Yeah. So, so she would have that in common with Alita. Now, Alita is going to be the second league champion in the sequel.
Oh, first league champion, actually.
Well,
the pro league.
Well, the pro league is the first league, but I mean in the sequel, she's going to start out the movie as the second league champion. She's going to, when she raises her sword, raises the Damascus blade at Nova, saying, "Hey, you're mine, Jack."
Mm-hmm. Well, I got the impression from what they were saying that she had, during that last little montage at the end of the movie, that she had basically torn up the opposition and rose through the ranks
of the second league
very quickly of second league. So they might start her out at the bottom of first league in the next one. Yeah,
that's right. But she is Alita is the second league champion at this point. So, and it's like you were saying, she rather, basically in just a few months, I think is what the announcer says, she progressed through the second league, whereas Screwhead probably doesn't have the talent for motorball that Alita does because she's a practice league player. Probably doing that for money too, by the way, like she's doing being a Hunter Warrior.
That's kind of the impression I got. She probably was a low-level motorball player just to pick up a little extra money and maybe even for the excitement of it. I think a lot of these bounty hunters are probably on some level adrenaline junkies.
Yeah, I think so, And they certainly hang out in the Kansas bar with some of the other motorball players because if you remember, Adjicutty was in that bar,
Canuba?
Well, no, I mean during the bar fight.
Oh, that's right. He was actually in there.
Yeah, and one of the things that speaks to too is that I guess he got obliterated by Canuba on the motorball track, and there you see him. Right after that, he's in the bar, so they can put you back together, I think. And this is another reason I think Screwhead could come back.
Yeah, she wasn't nearly as badly torn up as some of the other motorball players that survived.
Yeah, she was cut in half, but she wasn't, she wasn't completely obliterated like Adjicutty, and he came back. I mean, he was in the bar literally the next night, it looked like,
Yep.
So I think it's very possible that Screwhead could be back for the sequel.
You never know, they might write her off as dead, but from what I saw, she didn't take nearly as much damage as others that survived the wounds they took.
Yeah, I think so. But I would say I'm pulling for her to come back. I think it'd be great if she
I certainly
did,
wouldn't mind it. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool,
I would like to add something.
Yeah.
I like very much Screwhead because it was created specifically for the movie. It's not in the manga. It's a new character that was created for designer, for the people who works with Robert Rodriguez, and it started with a very short paper, but in the development after the Kansas bar keeps a very specific space and importance in the character of the cyborg woman. They're not so much in the film, but it's a very interesting because the readers manga, they have no way to compare because it's not in the manga original.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. She's not in the manga at all. That's right. And she mentioned that too in the interview, you know, that she had a lot more freedom to kind of come up with who Screwhead was than some of
she
the
was
other
more
folks.
of a blank slate than the others.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I'll tell you one thing about if you were a single guy on the prowl, this would probably be one of the last ladies you'd want to hit on.
She might hit back.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she might hit back and slice you in half if you pissed her off, you know. So anyway, yeah. But I think very much she could come back, you know. And if Elle's listening to this, I hope she knows the Creek wants her to come back. That's for damn sure. So, okay, guys. Any other thoughts about Screwhead? Okay, Shirin. I think most definitely she could come back. You know, I mean, she's, you know, I've seen some videos on YouTube where they say they put on their scene, Shirin's death scene and all that. Shirin was not killed. I mean, she was still alive, even though she was nothing more than a brain, you know, being on life support. But she's still very much alive, you know, in that box. And they could put her in a cyborg body. Who knows, maybe even a berserker body. You don't know, you know. But I think she could definitely come back. Now, the way I see this going is that Nova would probably in some way influence her to try to kill Alita. But I think Shirin would still have enough of her memory left that she would turn again, I think. And I think she would be, I think maybe at the beginning of the movie, she might be an antagonist. But I think, you know, going through the movie, I think she'd become an ally with Alita. You know, and of course, Shirin being a cyber doctor, she's highly intelligent, which would, if she was an antagonist only, that'd make her a very dangerous, you know, enemy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So any thought, you guys? Lee, any thought about her?
Nothing really specific comes to mind. It's just what you were saying kind of put me in mind of some of the cyborgs I saw in the manga who had been the result of experiments by Nova.
Yeah.
Who either ended up becoming some kind of antagonist or a part-time antagonist.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. They started out against and then started going to be more allied in some fashion or other. Yeah. Not necessarily with Alita, but I think in a couple of cases with Ito, if I remember correctly. I may not be remembering it entirely.
Well, I think Shirin would actually turn against Nova too, because I mean, once she figured out that Nova was the reason she was hacked to bits, you know, like she was, I think that'd be another one of those enemy my enemy type situations, you know, for Alita. So anyway, she could team up there too, I think.
That could be a what's the word? Oh, part of the plot where she basically struggles to get back the person she was, because I could see Nova easily being able to just completely screw with somebody's mind, ripping apart the personality that they used to have and putting them back together in some other way.
Yeah.
And she might at some point, if she's included, start to realize what had happened to her and start trying to regain her old self, as it were.
Yeah. Kind of like Alita, you know, I mean, she would be, you know, she'd probably realize, you know, was I ever a human? That's how it'd start out, you know, I guess if Nova erased her memory, you know. So what do you think, Alejandro?
Well, I think we have an encounter of two different ways, because I think Nova, as Vector says, Nova wants her brain because she's a very wise and a very intelligent woman, and she would like to conserve all the knowledge and all the element that she knows about how to build monsters, as said Dr. Ito, for motor balls, and how to repair the cyborgs' bodies and machines, and electronic knowledge is very important.
Yeah.
Yes, but the point is that she has a very hard movement to have decision because Alita has touched her hair, and she wants to recover the main sense of the doctor to heal people, and the interest is not now in Salem because maybe he wants to love another person, and but I think it's a person who has two poles different, taking from
Okay.
Alita and people. I'm going to apply all the knowledge for Morrow, and they have
Yeah.
Nova in managing that situation.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think that if Nova, I don't think Nova would make her like a cyborg that's a combatant, because she is so intelligent, and she is, like you say, Alejandro, she has so much knowledge about how to, like you put it, how to build monsters, as Ito told her. I think that would be that would be her talent that Nova, I think, would want to most likely take advantage of, to maybe build more monsters to try to get Alita, maybe, or something like that. But I think
Yes, I think Nova could adapt her brain in a body and to get the information and to manipulate it for to get the knowledge and get a better, more ball players. I think something like that.
okay. Safani, do you have anything you want to say about Shirin?
If Shen come back into life and is still alive, and her brain, maybe.
Yeah.
He's trying her cyborg body in parts, maybe.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
he thinks in cyborg he wants to put more body in, maybe, and transplant, maybe.
Yeah, their level of technology in the 26th century, being able to put a human brain into a cyborg body, we can't come close to doing that now, can we? I mean, not anywhere close to that. So, I mean, we can do cyborg arms or bionics and stuff like that. We can do that now, but we can't put somebody's brain into a body. We don't know how to do that.
Not yet.
Yeah. I would
remember that the vector conserves the eyes and the hands too. There's another part of the body that can
and
be
the heart as
ensembled
well, I
another
think.
body.
Yeah, that's right. The heart as well. Yeah.
So yeah, there was a bit more than just the brain that was preserved for some reason.
Yeah.
In fact, in the movie, you can see her eyes moving when Vector is open the box.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she kind of looked up at Vector and looked at Alita, didn't she?
It looked that way, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of felt like
I did think it was kind of interesting that those parts of the body were kept, because I got the impression it was only the brain he was after, so I couldn't even imagine why he would want the rest of it.
Like the hands?
Yeah, hands, heart, eyes.
Yeah.
But I'm sure maybe they'll come up with some kind of reason for it.
Maybe he figures her brain is used to working with the hands that she has there, and the neural connections would be more compatible, or something. Who knows? Yeah. And probably the same with the eyes. So who knows? Okay, I guess moving on to the next one, I guess that would be Clive Lee. Now, Clive Lee isn't in the movie very much. He definitely was in the anime. I don't think he was in the manga. He could have been in the manga. But, he's certainly Clive Lee of the White Hot Palm. And if you remember from the movie, he has killed over 207 marks, or folks with bounties on their heads. So he is a proficient killer. But like Screwhead, he's more neutral. Now, as you can see, I think he's Mikey Bike's on. Cool. As you can see, he is a human being. So that's probably why he wasn't in the motorball match, because humans wouldn't do very well in the motorball match.
No, they wouldn't.
Yeah, they
But at
would,
the very least, he doesn't have any obvious cybernetics, so that would indicate that he doesn't have enough of a replaced body to give him the ability to switch into a motorball body.
Yeah. How's it going, Mikey?
Hello, guys. How you guys doing?
Real good, real good. It's good to have you on, man.
Yeah, good to be here.
Yeah, it's now finally we get to hear your voice instead of just seeing your text.
Yeah, it's good to be here with you guys.
All right, cool. Yeah, well, welcome aboard. Any thoughts about Clive Lee?
Well, I think he was exclusively in the anime, right?
Yeah, he was in the anime. Yeah, he wasn't in the manga. I don't think, you know.
It was really interesting character because the character design was really great in the anime, but in the movie it was, I don't know, the hat wasn't there, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he also had a really nice weapon, so I would like to see more of him, actually.
Yeah, I think in the anime he tries to kill. I only saw the anime once, but I think he's the one that tries to kill Hugo, doesn't he, or something like that? And Alita takes him out.
I think he killed Hugo's brother, right?
Oh, is it his brother? Okay, yeah, because I don't remember.
I think so. So yeah, there's a lot of backstory to him that I would like to see they explore.
Yeah. But he also, you know, like Screwhead and I guess like a lot of the other Hunter Warriors in there, not Zapan, but that last one. My brain's not working too well here. Well, Screwhead, yeah, okay, I'm just flipping back there. But I think most of those Hunter Warriors that were in that bar, in the Kansas bar, when Alita first shows up and, you know, shows Zapan her, you know, ID card, you know, and he's kind of, you know, being a little bit condescending to her and that kind of stuff. I think some of them viewed her as kind of funny, or, you know, she's, we're not going to take her seriously as a Hunter Warrior because she's just a little girl, you know, which is a big mistake on their part. But I think Clive Lee didn't have that reaction to her. I think he was more neutral than any of them, I think. And the only reason I would suspect that he would go after anybody is if they had a bounty on their head. Now, when Gurishka came in there and Ito said, how about the rest of you after Zapan left? Clive Lee said, there's no bounty on this guy, Doc. It's not our problem. I didn't get the feeling that Clive Lee was afraid of Gurishka. I just think there was no bounty on his head and he wasn't interested in risking himself, you know, if there's no bounty involved. So that's kind of my thought about him. You know, we don't even really know for sure how lethal he is. I mean, we know he killed 207 people, you know, but they could have been just very low level criminals because he doesn't appear to be a cyborg, you know, and a human going after a cyborg. Of course, Ito was a Hunter Warrior and he was a human. So I guess anything's possible, you know, but I don't see him taking on somebody like Zapan or Gurishka and coming out on top because those two are, you know, they're total replacement cyborgs and they would be more than a
challenging to say the least.
Yeah, that's right. So
yeah, so it would depend on how he takes on a target, what kind of target he takes on, and all that.
But you know, to me, if he is all human like he appears to be, and he's got 207 kills, he must be the consummate professional. And what I mean by that is he doesn't take risks. You know, he does it strictly, you know, for the pay, and he does his job and gets out. You know,
he probably studies his target too.
Yeah, he studies them very well, and you're making an assumption maybe he's a master of martial arts, you know, or something like that. And he goes.
That's the impression I got.
Yeah, for sure, because you know Clive Lee of the White Hot Palm
definitely sounds like a martial arts sort of title, as it were.
Yeah, maybe the White Hot Palm is a dojo or a karate school somewhere in Iron City. Who knows? But anyway, I would think that he could be an ally of Alita's, and this would be another one of those things where it would have to be something in it for him. I think. I don't think that he would just on some kind of moral platform, help Alita out. I think Screwhead might do that, but I don't think Clive Lee would, because it's got to be something in it for him. That's just my opinion, simply by what he said about Gruishka, that he wasn't willing, there was no bounty on the sky, and it's not our problem, So guys, any thought about that?
I think Mr. Clive Lee is a very practical man, and he's only interested in money. He can kill his mother if somebody pay for him a lot of money. Okay.
Yeah.
And the point is that he's the only human that is a hunter warrior, because the others are cyborgs. He's completely human, as you said.
Yeah.
And for that reason, the 500,000 is not in the memorable secondly because he's not a cyborg human being.
Yeah, well, him and Doc Ito were both humans, and they're both hunter warriors, So, Vladi says Alita kicked their cowardly asses. I love that.
Yeah. There is also the possibility he does have some minor augmentations, at least, that might be under.
Yeah, that's right. That we're not aware of. That they're not obvious on his body, because it looks like he's wearing some kind of armor there. So we don't know what those are. So. My sense is he's a human, though. Now, he may be an augmented human, like you say, Lee. That could be very possible, because we don't know what those gauntlets he's got on will do, or any of that stuff, At
the very least, definitely get the impression he's somehow very well trained in combat.
I think so.
At least that was the impression they gave in the movie to me.
Yeah. Mikey, what do you think? By the way, Mikey, where are you located?
I'm from Sri Lanka.
Okay, Sri Lanka. Okay, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty late here, but
Yeah, I
bet.
Late. Late or early, right?
Yeah, well, you could say
broad. Right. Yeah, that's right. So, what are your thoughts about Clive Lee being a possible ally of Alita?
I don't think he'll be an ally, like you said. But if there's like a bounty on someone, he would definitely go and try to get that. Like maybe Alita's fighting someone that's not good, and if there's like a bounty, he might pop in and finish the kill and get the bounty or something like that. He could do that. But,
or maybe
helping Alita.
Yeah,
I don't think he would do that from knowing the character.
Well, saying him and say Alita teaming up to go after a mark, he would do something like that. But I agree with you. It's kind of like I said a while ago. I don't think he would be Alita's ally on moral grounds. I don't see that. I think it would be more of a financial thing for him, I think.
Yeah, he had his chance to fight Gruishka, but he didn't. So maybe he's not on his level. I don't know, but he didn't help Alita there.
Yeah.
So I don't think he'll become an ally, but he could help in different ways. Maybe like sell weapons. Who knows?
Yeah. And certainly, I just got the feeling, since he's a human, he is probably very skilled at what he does, being a human hunter warrior, or at least at the most, he's an augmented human. He's not a cyborg, So, although I've heard the argument that anybody with a pacemaker is a cyborg, So, or if you got one of those insulin injectors in you, you're a cyborg. I've heard that somewhere. So maybe he's got that. He wouldn't be like, I don't see him as a diabetic, but he might have some, like Lee was saying, some minor augmentations that kind of make him better, that help him be more than, maybe give him, maybe not superhuman strength, but, faster than most humans, maybe a little stronger than most humans. And he's certainly got martial arts training. So, those three things put together would make him quite a challenge for, say, maybe some lesser cyborgs he might be a challenge for,
I think he's like a ninja in that society.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably is like a ninja, I think.
but it's a person who has no ethics, no heart, no
Yeah.
principles, nothing. It's only money and killing. It's only
Yeah.
the life of that man.
Yeah. 207 kills, quite a bit. I got the feeling that the way Zapan introduced him, I got the feeling he may have had the most kills of all of them in there. Who knows? He said Screwhead was one of the more lethal bounty hunters, and maybe he was referring to how quickly she takes them out. Maybe, but this guy, 207 kills. He's probably number one on the kill list, I think.
And Screwhead is going to be very close in the numbers of persons killed. I think
Yeah.
it's in the same level of dangerous people.
Yeah. But I don't think he's a cyborg, because if he was, and he was that accomplished, then Vector would have invited him into that motorball match, because like I say, humans aren't going to do well in motorball. I mean, they get cut in half, they're done. They don't, they don't come back for game 2 on that one.
Yeah, way too many squishy bits.
Yeah, that's right. So, okay, any more thoughts on Clive Lee, you guys? Clive Lee of the White Hot Palm. Okay, let's move on to the next one, I guess, and that would be Crimson Wind. Now, we didn't see a whole lot about her. She was certainly in the movie. The character was. Now, what was funny about it is I remember stopping the frame when they showed Crimson Wind, going around, I guess it was Adjicutty or one of them, and that showed a frame of, and it appeared to be a white dude to me, but that doesn't matter. In the novelization, Crimson Wind is a black woman, and Alita has a lot of respect for her because she's really a superb motorball player, I think she, in the sequel, if they certainly, it's like Lee was saying a while ago, if they have any kind of substantial motorball arc, she's got to be in it, because, I guess in the novelization, she teams up with Alita, with Adjicutty, and a couple other players. I guess they were going to go up against Joshigon, and I think Joshigon kind of eliminates all of them until he gets to Alita, and then it gets to be a little bit of a challenge for him, I guess. But her being a motorball player like that and being on Alita's team, I guess in the novelization, which is the basis, or part of the basis at least, for the movie itself, I think she very well could be in the sequel. Now, we don't know much about her. I don't get the sense that she's a hunter warrior. She's strictly a pro motorball player, I think. And also being in the Champions League like she's in, she probably doesn't need to be a hunter warrior. She probably makes enough money in the Champions League that she don't need to risk herself. Now, motorball's risky, obviously, but she doesn't need to risk herself chasing criminals. She's going to make her money on the track, where they got professionals that can put you back together if you get hacked to bits, replace parts and stuff like that. And she's going to get money for this. So I don't see her as a hunter warrior teaming up with Alita that way, but I definitely see her being on Alita's motorball team, particularly when they play Joshigon. Any thoughts, you guys?
I would have to agree with that. Considering she had a body that looks very much professionally built, and purpose-built specifically to the pro leagues in motorball.
Yeah.
I do think it's likely they'll probably follow the story of the manga and have her join up with Alita's team when she hits the pros.
Yeah, that's right. She was in the manga, wasn't she? For sure.
And hello, Hybrid.
Hey, Hybrid, or Guten Tag, Hybrid.
Yeah, he just recently sent me a review of my story, which gave me some good insight into
I promise, Lee, I'm going to read it. I promise. I've been a little distracted here the last
I
week.
kind of figured you had been. And that's why I haven't been trying to push you or Max Tech for it, because I know you guys got a lot going on in your life right now.
Yeah, we do. So anyway, but I am going to read it. I do want to see what your take on it is. See how I get the feeling just talking to you, it's kind of cerebral. So I want to read that. You know,
there is a bit more of the. I guess, as you just said, a little bit more of the cerebral side. I try to put a little bit of action in it, though, just to, make it a little more interesting, I guess. But
more Alita, right?
At least one chapter does focus more specifically on her. Actually, no. I think actually I forgot about the motorball chapters.
Okay. I promise I am going to read it.
Well, if you get around to it.
All right, yeah. I know I read Maxie's, and he ragged me because it took me so long to read it. And then I finally read the 10th thing, and now he hadn't done chapter 11. Now I'm ragging him. Hey, where's chapter 11, man? Come on, you're going to make me reread chapter 10 before I can read chapter 11.
Yeah, I've been ripping him a bit on that too.
Yeah, exactly. Any thoughts about Crimson Wind there, Alejandro?
No, I don't know about that woman, but she doesn't appear in the film. I don't remember her.
Very briefly, she appeared in the film. You only catch like a couple glimpses of her.
Yeah, that's right.
I also don't remember seeing her.
Yeah, she was definitely in there. If you pay attention to that motorball match that Hugo and Alita went on a date, you remember they went to the motorball game. I guess you could call it a date, but. Yeah, there was one character that did have red motorball armor.
The red one.
Yeah, that's Crimson.
I remember.
Yes. Yeah, that's Crimson Wind. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yes, she evidently was one of the faster players on the track. She opted for a body built for speed, as opposed to somebody like Scaramascus or say, who was the other one, Claymore, that were kind of big, bulky, kind of guys, or say Zariki, that was in that thing. It looked like a modified Ferrari or something. I don't know what that was, but anyway, she opted for a more, sleek, more, speedy body, I think. But she is definitely a TR. There's no doubt about it.
Yes, I remember when Hugo asked her, Alita, what do you think? And she's looking that red cyborg, and she says, I like it because for the speed and how he goes between the legs of the another cyborg, right? Is that the thing that you mentioned?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure that was where she said, I like it, but they did. Yeah, they did show her. That's right. I think that was that scene where she kind of came around Ajikutty or one, it might have been Claymore, tried to hit her, and she kind of easily, outmaneuvered him and was racing, and he said, how do you like it? And I like it, and also in the novelization, Alita said something like when she saw Crimson Wind go by and acknowledged that was a woman, and she said, hi, something like, hi, sister, or something like that, that was pretty cool. So Mikey, you don't remember her, huh?
Not really. I need to rewatch the movie soon. So
yeah. Oh no, oh darn, you got to rewatch the movie. Darn.
Yeah, I'm not surprised he probably didn't catch it. I mean, she was just real quick, blink and you miss it kind of thing.
Yeah, she's only in just a couple of shots. It wasn't. Yeah.
I mean, you guys talking about her, I'm kind of interested to know more about her as well now. So maybe in the second movie we'll get to see more.
Yeah,
hopefully
more of her and Ajikutty actually.
Yeah.
Okay, Safani, do you want to say anything about her?
I haven't seen that scene in Crimson Wind. I see one time. I haven't seen her scene one time. It's hard to say about her.
Yeah. You're going to have to watch it again then, Safani.
That's going to be funny because I was not pay attention to scenes and character names.
Yeah. Yeah, pay attention to that part where Hugo asks her just before he says, "How do you like Motorball?" or "How do you like it?" and she says, "I like it," like that. Yeah, be on the lookout for that. And then when he says that, pause it and go back a few frames, and you'll see her.
I missed that scene. I didn't pay attention.
Yeah. Well, darn it! Now you and Mikey have both got to watch it again. I know that's going to be a chore, but that's what you got to do. Okay, guys, moving on to the next one, I guess, and this is an obvious one that's going to be. Now, I got him down as a possible ally, but he's probably not going to be an ally in the sequel. He's going to be an antagonist for sure, But I could see a case to where he might be somewhat of an ally, particularly if he meets Sarah, who's McTeague or Murdoch's daughter. And, if Murdoch or say McTeague becomes Alita's ally, and there may be somewhat of a less contentious relationship between Alita and Zapan. But I don't think that would last if it is. And I think if they do become allies, it would be much the same as if, say, her and Clive Lee became allies, but except I don't think it'd be as strong a bond as that. I think Zapan would be looking to double cross her is what I think. But he might start out as what appears to be an ally and try to double cross her. Of course, if he does that, he's doing it at his own peril, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because even in that body he's in there, in her berserker body, that body he's in is no challenge for her whatsoever. Now, if they stay true to the manga, he gets the berserker body and she's in the civilian body.
Well, that's the thing, as somebody pointed out, Gelda was up on the tube with Alita when they went up to Zalem.
Yeah.
Or at least we assume they went up to Zalem.
Yeah.
So it's possible that at the very least, either the remains of Alita's previous berserker body or Gelda's berserker body are in Nova's hands, and he might use that in some way to augment Zapan to help him get back at Alita in some fashion.
That would be the coolest thing if both of them had berserker bodies. Yeah, where they fight each other. God, that'd be the coolest thing ever, wouldn't it?
I could even see Nova using some sort of technology to augment any berserker technology he gives to Zapan, if that were to be the case.
Yeah, I would be a little dubious of that because I think that, from what I heard Doc Ito say, the berserker body was the most advanced cyborg weapon ever developed. I don't know how much, and I guess Nova actually was considered by some the savior of Zalem or something like that, since it's the only Sky City that's remaining afloat, So I don't know how much he could restore it. How much he could augment it. I definitely think he could probably restore it,
Well, even if it's minor augmentations, it might still give him an advantage over Alita, at least initially. Because, Nova is portrayed as being incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
And he's been around for hundreds of years, which means if he did get the bodies at that last battle, then he's had hundreds of years to study them and to come up with any refinements to the technology.
That's true. That's a good point. So what do you think, Lee? Anything about him at all? Probability of him being an ally?
I honestly can't see him being an ally at all. Outside of that interesting rewrite or what if rewrite that MaxTac did. Outside of something like that, I just can't really see him being an ally of any kind.
Yeah, I think it would be an extraordinary circumstance that would make him an ally.
But you never know. They could throw a twist in there of some sort.
Yeah, you never know. Hey, Diz, I see Dizzy's out there. Alejandro, any thoughts about Zapan?
Well, I think for me it's impossible that Zapan could be an ally for Alita because the very hard point is Zapan is a very big enemy of Alita because he was humiliated in the Kansas Bar fight. in front of the all society of that place. And if you remember, when he cut the arm of Hugo, he says, "You think you can punk me up?"
Yeah.
And he was very hungry because um, the the image of Japan was very strong damage by the fight against Alita in the Kansas Bar. So it's a very deep, strong, and hard feeling of Japan against Alita.
Yeah.
And in fact, he killed Hugo and make all
Yeah.
these situation, killing another cyborg for get the mark on Hugo to be the assassin, that he was not kill a person for all the system. So I think it's a very, very strong situation that is impossible to be allied, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think the probability of him being an ally would be extremely low. I do see a possibility, maybe in some extreme case, out of necessity, he might do something like that. But I think you're right, Alejandro. He's got a very strong revenge factor going on there, because she not only made him look like a fool in the Kansas bar and broke his nose, but she also sliced his face off. So yeah, he definitely wants to get back at her for sure. I think because he's egotistical. He's he thinks he's the universe's gift to cyborgs or something like this. I think, and Alita just kind of knocked him off his pedestal, I think.
Yeah, smaller little girl just
little old
crap out of him.
Yeah, that's right. Little
Twice.
bitty girl. Yeah. Well, first time in her doll body. I mean, God, yeah, holy crap, In a berserker body, he wouldn't stand a chance unless he had a berserker body. Then we might see a fight there. So, Mikey, you got anything? I'm assuming, Safani, you don't have anything you want to say about Japan. Is that right?
I mean, I would like to see him again, because
yes,
he lost his precious face to Alita.
Yeah.
And I would actually like to know how he got the sword of Alita. What do you call it?
The Damascus blade.
Yeah, I wonder how he found it.
Yeah, that'd be kind of a neat backstory if they got him in the sequel.
Well, it was mentioned that salvage was taken out of the Martian shipwreck.
Yeah.
So it could be he was one of the people that went there to salvage for stuff and ended up finding it in the wreckage.
He might have been a nobody before he found that sword, because after he found it, he probably became Japan.
The hunter warrior. Yeah. So
he actually, his character design is pretty cool too. Like on his back, there's some kind of I don't know what it is.
I think it's a Mayan calendar on his back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the detailing on that was really good.
Really good, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Wait, I like the Go ahead, man.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Another point that I would like to say is one of the men that called Alita bitch, like Tanji. And so the strong of the male humiliated by a woman in that society, they get very strong enemies. So I think Alita is a very strong enemy of him, but he in fact respects him like a hunter warrior, because as you mentioned in the berserker body, she would kill him so easily, but respect that. But in fact, he's a very strong and very bad enemy.
He is, but I think Alita would have a strength advantage on him. She'd have a speed advantage, and she's got that plasma weapon. So I don't see any scenario where he
the
could
ability
win.
to self-repair as well.
Yeah, that's right. He doesn't have that ability. She does. So even if he did manage to stab her or something like that, she's going to self-repair. And if she stabs him and she's got that plasma weapon activated, he's not going to last. You know, I mean,
he's going to lose some body parts. And he's not getting them back.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, I agree with you guys. I think Zapan is most likely going to be an antagonist, and I think it would be an extreme circumstance indeed, you know, if he became an ally. And I as we mentioned, Maxie's take on it was a pretty good one. Then it would have to be something like that, I think. You know, yeah, that was really good hybrid. The way they did his neck, and you could even see through it. You know, that was pretty cool the way they did that.
Yeah, I like that move that Alita did when she grabbed one of the support bars on his neck and pulled him into the tabletop.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, guys, I think that's some other likely allies that we talked about that we not going to discuss too much here because I think they're always going to be allies. You know, certainly Adjicutty is kind of like Crimson Wind. You know, he's definitely going to be on her team if they follow the manga against Joshigan's team. Mm-hmm. He and Crimson Wind, and I hope Screwhead, although she wouldn't be a top player. You know, she would be more of a practice league player.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking if Screwhead does become any kind of ally, it probably won't be the motorball circuit. It'll be on the streets in some fashion or other. Yeah,
I think so. And of course, Doc Ito is definitely going to be, you know, her ally because he's her father. You know, she kind of accepts that toward the end of the movie. You know, and she says, "Thank you, Father." You know,
and they definitely seem to sort of cement their relationship there at the end.
Yep. And figure 4, that's Creek's favorite right there. You know, I think he's, you know, maybe because he's got big guns. I like that, you know. But anyway, I don't see him at the beginning of the sequel. Now, he may be there at the end of it, you know, when she.
I could see him being at the end leading into the third movie.
Yes. When she starts to get to the Badlands, you know, that's when we'd see figure 4. And of course, you know, I know Dan and I have talked about this. I'd like to see Jason Momoa be figure 4, but
I think it'd be a great.
I think
figure
so
4,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's Chaos. You know, I think we would probably see him also toward the end of the second movie, possibly. You know, I really like that panel in the manga where he's kind of well, to be honest, he's groping her a little bit, you know, when she's on the table and she slugs the crap out of him. I just love that scene. That's pretty cool, you know.
I think that's not the only time she hits him either. There's another time later on where he tries to get a little too intimate with her and she smacks him. Yeah, backhands him and sends him flying.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Alita's not somebody you want to hit on, kind of like Screwhead. If you're going to the bar, you don't want to hit on them unless you like pain.
Or unless you are absolutely certain the feeling's mutual.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, Koyomi would be another one we know are going to be allies. You know, I think at the beginning of the second movie, she may blame Alita for Tanji's death, but we don't really have a very strong indication about her and Tanji's relationship.
They're at the very least friends, but I have the feeling she and Hugo were closer friends, I think.
That's possible, yeah. And if her and Tanji were more than friends, then Koyomi may, you know, blame Alita a little bit, but I think she'd get over it pretty fast, you know. Of course, in the manga, you know, Koyomi's a baby, you know, in the part of where the movie is now, you know, but you know, it doesn't matter too much, you know. I mean, she could certainly be there for the barjack, you know, along with figure 4 and Chaos. And then McTeague, certainly we got to see him. We got to have the dog guy in there, you know.
Oh yeah,
definitely, you know, to help take down Zapan. I think Zapan ends up killing him in the manga. I'm not sure, but they could certainly change that around. Yeah. But that's Jeff Fahey. I really like Jeff Fahey. He's really great. I watched Silverado the other night, and boy, he sure plays a badass outlaw in that thing. I really like him in that movie. Excuse me. And then, of course, there's Zex. I don't think we would see Zex even in the third movie. Now, the Creek wants 6 movies, so we'd probably see Zex probably in the 5th movie, maybe, or no, he does act well. We could see him in the 3rd movie because Zex is the guy that cuts off Figure 4's arm. And Figure 4 gets a cyborg or a bionic.
That's right.
arm.
That's when Zex was still in the female form.
Yeah, that's right. So we might see Zex there, but we're not going to see him in the way you see him up there until later on, just before, they go into the Zot tournament, but he would definitely be Alita's ally. Now, that relationship is going to be testy at best because Zex wants to fight Alita because he wants to see who's better. Now the problem Zex has got is he's in that Fizzleroy body, which is a good body, but it ain't nowhere near the Imaginos body. So he's going to get his butt handed to him if he fights her,
Well, that's assuming that Rodriguez and Cameron go with the Imaginos body. I think they're probably likely to keep it more grounded, so you may not see something quite on par with the manga Imaginos at the very least.
Yeah, if they do an Imaginos, well, certainly I don't think they'd have 3 versions of the Imaginos body, the 1.0, 2.0, 2.1.
Yeah.
I think if they had one called the Imaginos body, they would probably, scale it back in power, somehow, maybe make it a little better than the Berserker body, perhaps, and maybe give it a little better, maybe reaction to Alita's mental commands or something.
Considering the technology they had on the ship with the stasis field system, there is the possibility maybe even some kind of energy field defense.
Yeah.
Basically augmenting it and making it more hyper advanced in other ways besides what they did in the manga.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, and Hybrid was pointing out that the way Kiyomi came to Alita's defense in the talk with Tanji, that's probably a good indicator that she'd probably be more forgiving or more likely to see that it was Zapan that killed Tanji.
Yeah, not Alita. Yeah, I agree with that. So, but with the Imaginos body, I don't think it would be a body. If they did have that in one of the sequels, then I don't think it'd be one of those bodies that they would have it move at the speed of light, like the Flash.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, with the way that Cameron likes to keep things more real world grounded.
Yeah.
It'd probably be, like I said, it'd be hyper advanced, but probably in different ways other than that.
Yeah. And
still have a lot of power, a lot of speed, but there would probably be other augmentations that would boost its capabilities up beyond to what the rest of the technology possesses.
Yes. So you guys got any thoughts about any of these folks being allies? Of course, we know they're going to be allies. So,
I think maybe the Nurse Gerhard, I would like to see her again because I think she gets a very strong and very warm feeling with Alita, and in fact, he works with Ito, and I think maybe in the film they were missing some phrases between them. I think it could be very nice person in the growing of Alita, but I think it could be interesting because she knows something about the technology of the Berserker body of Alita and of the body that he can change. I think it could be interesting.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Anybody else got another take? Cool. Well, like I say, I want to wrap the stream up a little early today. Did we miss anybody?
Nobody comes to mind for me.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody either. There's certainly go ahead, Mikey.
Ito's assistant will be, of course, an ally.
Yeah, Gerhard, yeah,
that's her name.
Yeah.
I think in the manga, it's a different character, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's what's his name again? I forget.
Yes, it's Ed.
I cannot for the life of me remember either.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
name is Ed. Ed is the name.
No,
Yeah.
Ed's the
he's Zdoc.
yeah, that's the guy who's in charge of the motorball. There's another guy who's a short, sort of rotund.
Yeah, short guy.
And he's
Has
got
like a plate on the top
yeah,
of his head.
Yeah.
God,
what is
he
his
was like a
name?
friend to Ito outside of motorball.
Yeah, that's right.
And he ends up. Actually, I don't know if I should spoil that.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
Go ahead. It's all good.
Yeah, hold on, you guys. I'm getting a call here, so go ahead and keep talking.
Well, he ends up getting splattered by Zapan when Zapan goes berserker.
That sucks for him. But yeah, but the assistant of Ito in the movies.
Not really an assistant, so much more of sort of a friend and colleague.
Yeah, a friend, right? Yeah. They work together.
He tends to drink a lot too, from what I saw.
Does he?
Looked like it anyway. I often saw him with a drink in some fashion or other.
Well,
when he ends up getting attacked by Zapan, he was actually in the Kansas bar drinking. So.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. But in the movie, I think they'll actually do a lot more with the female character.
Gerhard, yeah.
Yeah, because
I hope so. Anyway, I mean, I wish they would have done a little bit more with her in the movie.
Yeah, we didn't see much of her.
Yeah.
But she got like a robot hand, and I think she can replace it as well because she was using different hands, if I remember correctly.
Actually, it looked like a lot of tools were folding in and out of it.
Yeah, when doing the surgery, right? So
yeah,
changing the body.
Yeah, in the novelization, she got that from when she worked at the hospital in Iron City.
Oh, okay.
She was coming off shift, and a cargo hauler went out of control, smashed along the front of the hospital, taking out the windows, and she got caught and it tore her arm off.
Oh my god. Maybe we can see like a scene of her explaining this to Alita.
Yeah, maybe.
No? Yeah. Alita
I could have used another 10 or 15 minutes, at least 10 minutes of the movie where they expanded on a little bit of the Alita and Hugo, as well as a little bit of Gerhard's backstory a little bit.
Yeah, that would have been nice. No, yeah, it'd been nice, particularly Gerhard. You just don't see much about her, except she's in the movie.
They didn't even give her many lines either.
No, really. Yeah.
Fortunately, Idara Victor, the woman who played her, is a good enough actor. She was able to communicate quite a bit even without that. At least I thought so.
Well, if they did a series, this would be
Gonzu, that's the name.
Yeah, Gonzu, yes, there you go. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, that call I just took of my dog is ready to come home. So anyway, but he's okay for now,
That's good to hear.
Yeah, but anyway, I think Gerhard, knowing a little bit more about her, I'd like to know more about Screwhead. I certainly would I'd even like to hear more about Zapan's backstory. We don't have any backstory on him either,
Yeah.
But if they did a series, they could really take some of that prequel, that Iron City prequel, and take some of that material and then kind of merge it in with once Alita comes into the series, then they go through the motorball arc up to where after she loses Hugo and up to where she's, right after she points the Damascus blade at Nova, take her up, to the point to where the next movie, the sequel would begin. I think that'd be superb. Okay, guys. Anyway, as you can see, I guess we didn't miss anybody else. Well, like I was about to say before I got that call, there is a whole bunch of characters in Battle Angel Alita or Gunham. Certainly we could miss some of them.
Yeah, not even counting the Earthside arcs. Once you get into Last Command, or was it?
Yeah,
was it
Last Order?
Last Order. That's what I was.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's even more characters added in Last Order, so you got a whole slew of them.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, we're going to see them all too, guys. We got to keep the faith, as they would say.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see there, Alita loves her because he wants that sequel for her.
Oh yeah.
And if you got a problem with her loving her Uncle Creek, I wouldn't mess with her too much with that plasma weapon there engaged.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. And of course, there's our queen right there. There's Rosa. Boy, that's a really nice shot. And if Angelus was on here, I bet he would say, Creek, can you send me that in a DM? That's probably what he would say. But yeah, she's number one in the Creek's book, man. She's a great actor, you know. She was superb and Undone too. She really was.
I still got to catch the second season of that.
Yeah, the second season's good. You know, it really is. You know, the first, well, I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm just going to say watch it. But yeah, she was superb. And all of the actors in that second season, even the first season too, were all excellent, you know.
Yeah, I love the first season. I saw it a while back. And
yeah, if you love the first season, you're going to like the second season for sure, you know. So, but anyway, our queen, you know, she's, we know from that video when she's at WonderCon, she still wants to play Alita. As a matter of fact, she said her, Rodriguez, and Cameron had so much love for Alita, you know. So they want to do it still. So as long as those three are fighting for it and we keep doing our part, you know, I think we're going to get that series or that sequel and a series, you know, probably, you know, I'm thinking next year we'll hear some news, you know.
I certainly hope so.
Well, they got to wait. You got to wait for they got to get Avatar, you know. And I think Avatar, if you've seen the trailer, holy crap, that is going to be superb. That thing, you know. And we know there's 4 Avatars coming up, so I don't know how many of them are in the can. I think Avatar 2 and 3 are in the can, but I'm not sure about 4.
I heard it was something like 4 of them were, but you never know.
Could be, yeah, you know. But if you go on IMDb, you can see I think they got, you know, Avatar 2 through 5. I think that mentions them. Now I haven't checked it here recently, so I don't know if they're in the can or not. You know, and of course,
we're expecting the third season of Undone.
Yeah, the second season of is there a third? There's going to be a third season, isn't there?
Yes, it's a third season. I heard Rosa talking about the third season because at the end of the second, he has to repair himself. He has to heal himself, and so I think it's a third season that is coming up.
Yeah,
I hope that's not gonna. I mean, if she ends up too busy with other projects, that might create some conflicts there.
I think she'd find a way.
I'm sure
she's
she
a
would
very
too.
dynamic girl. I think she has a very different fronts, filming different TV series and films. She's very great worker in that kind of paper. So I think we can expect many different TV series and films because she has a great energy and she enjoys so much in the filming.
Yeah, I bet they're in pre-production at the very least for the third season. So I don't think there'd be a scheduling issue. Now, if they went for a 4th season, then we might have a problem. But you know, or if she could kind of get Alita between that and Undone, you know, I mean, I think that would work out. Now, Hybrid just pointed out Wedding Seasons is also just dropped. So yeah, don't miss any Rosa. That's for sure. You know, God, Rosa's great, boy. She's, you know, yep. Okay, guys. I guess. That's wrong. Yeah, that's wrong. We did that last week. I don't know what's on 128. Let me check it real quick. Yeah, 128 is going to be who's the most underrated side character in the Alitaverse and why. The reason why that slide's still there is because, remember, this was from last week's show, so it was 127 when I put this together. So, yeah, it's going to be who's the most underrated character in the Alitaverse. So that's going to be pretty neat discussion tomorrow. You know, I know I'm going to be there. Hopefully Angelus will be there if he can get out of bed.
I'm sure I'll be here tomorrow. I had to do something. It's my mom's birthday tomorrow, guys.
All right. Well,
okay. Because first I had to do something, watch the movie from first, and today, I'm really, and that's not how I'm watching the movie. Right? What movie I'm watching? What movie I'm watching?
Right. Okay.
I was watching the movie and something a new movie come out, new Spider-Man movie come out this year. I was watching Spider-Man right now, Craig.
I'm sorry, Stefani, I didn't quite understand that.
Oh, because I can't. I was watching a Spider-Man movie come out this year, Craig. The Spider-Man movie come out because I was just.
Okay, Spider-Man. Okay, yeah.
I can't talk to it because I was laughing myself.
No, it's okay.
Because I was reading myself, you doesn't hear the background noise.
That's okay. Well, I would highly suggest that you and Mikey watch Alita again and look for that scene where Crimson wins.
I was checking that scene when we beat Kick and checking one more time. I didn't see that scene. I didn't pay attention. I was paying attention to other seeing the other characters in Japan or other character names.
Well, just keep your eyes peeled for, as they say in Pirates of the Caribbean, keep a weather eye out for them.
Yeah.
You know.
Maybe check that scene a bit, Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for sure that, Craig.
Okay. And you too, Mikey. You want to watch that? Watch it and keep your eye open for it. You know, I mean, as soon as she said, when Hugo says, you know, how do you like it? And she says, I love it, or I like it. Just go back a few seconds and you'll see Crimson Wind. So, you know.
Yeah, I'll definitely be watching it. I think next week because my girl, she hasn't seen it, so I want to show it to her.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, next week hopefully I'll be able to watch it with her.
Okay,
I'll keep an eye out for that scene.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to have to end this because I got to get down to the hospital, or up to the hospital. It's up there in Wheat Ridge. I think you know where that is, Lee. It's up there kind of north of where I am. But
no, I'm not familiar with that area, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay. All righty. Well, anyway, why is this image here? Well, that image is there because the Creek likes it and he's run the stream, of course. And to paraphrase Gowishka, I'm only here for our girl and the Alita Army. And as a matter of fact, we are all here for our girl.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, as we say on this stream and on the Radio Chaos stream, we want to do our call to action. And that'd be on my count of 3. That'd be 1, 2, 3.
Film those sequels, baby.
All right, you guys. We'll see you next week, and on the Alita live stream. We'll see you tomorrow on Radio Chaos.
All right. See you guys.
What's up, Alita Army? This is Hot Toys Alita, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Alita live stream. Please join my Uncle Creek, Angelus, and our other guests for next week's show. Remember, I do not stand by in the presence of evil, and film those sequels, baby. See you next time.